My life is in service of the evolution of consciousness and the healing of the soul spirit. After a personal life challenge, I devoured books on mysticism, tarot, numerology, astrology, psychology, cognitive hypnotherapy, attachment theory, just to mention a few, archetypes, Jung, esoteric studies, yin shin, meridian and energy psychology, enneagrams, color theory, herbalism, and many others. While practicing psychotherapy, I tried to make sense of it all. For me, every study or philosophy I came upon contained some truth that needed to be synthesized and integrated with all others. Every piece of wisdom came from a specific angle or a specific point of view or worldview or archetypal perspective or focus or lens, and it didn't contain the whole picture, and I wanted to synthesize it all to make a big picture where you can actually notice where you fit in a specific place and time. I realized that we, in our developmental processes, go through specific themes that is encapsulated in struggles and desires and fears. And these themes can be really very creative in its expression in the human form, but it actually also carries with it a spiritual theme that we need to access, but mostly we get trapped in the human expression of that theme. I was very fortunate to be able to verify much of my theories and reflections in studious observations of my clients in private practice and also in my own life and my family's life. Working with thousands of clients in private practice was and still is a perfect environment to observe and test the appropriateness of applying the wisdoms received from the synthesizing mystical school wisdoms, conventional psychological theories, and techniques towards the healing of the psyche and evolving consciousness. So, over more than 3 decades of research, observations, contemplations, experience, and verifications, a culmination of these wisdoms shaped into a beautiful and harmonious arrangement in the form of my books that I will explain in a moment. So the beauty of cycles and patterns in the universe has always fascinated me. I first saw this in the exquisite beauty of mathematics, and later in the study of astrology and the human evolutionary journey through the archetypal themes. These archetypal themes were so prominently observable in my work in psychotherapy practice that I felt just driven to create something of practical use for everyone. It was in the book Meditations on the Tarot, A Journey into Christian Hermeticism, that the anonymous author, who was a monk and didn't want to be known because of the sensitive nature of his opinions, inspired me. It inspired my soul with a question and purpose to channel a more modern tarot, if you may use that term, a product that would be more appropriate for modern consciousness. The purpose was not to predict the future, but to help people recognize their soul's messages in the current archetypal psychological challenges they experienced in their overall evolutionary journey, so that they can become practical mystics which we all are in essence. I needed to participate in the development of such a tool that everyone could use in an easy and eloquent way. So I distilled and simplified the complexities of all the information that came my way, that the universe brought into my life, and especially the wisdoms to be practical, available, and helpful, truly helpful for transformation and healing. My rational and experimental understanding of archetypes took a whole new direction when in 2002 I started watercolor painting as a pure spiritual exercise. Every year I produced one image while in the background contemplating a specific archetype for that whole year, for a book I was writing at the time. I did not realize that the painting and the background intellectual inquiry of the archetypes would affect each other. Professor Donald Hall, an esoteric teacher from Italy, guided the watercolor painting process. He used Gutter's color theory to help us understand color. But each watercolor activates a divine archetypal energy appropriate to the divine qualities of that particular color. After a few days of working with the color pigments and water in a systematic, principled arrangement, an image would emerge from the formless colors. And each of my images corresponded with a specific archetype that I was contemplating at the time. But I only recognized this after years of painting every year, and the significance came together when I tried to preserve the paintings by photographing them in 2015. This was after the book, The Riddle in the Mirror, Journey in Search of Healing, was completed in 2012. Each of the 9 paintings resembled the exact energy of the archetypes described in my book in chapter 6. And these images are now the healing cards that are used as the mirrors to your soul, keys to unlock divine archetypal portals. I consider these healing cards with its booklet a true divine gift that was born not from mindful and dedicated cognitive work alone, but also from the unconscious and energetic realms of my divine soul spirit. The Mirrors to Your Soul archetypal images system developed over time as I went through my personal unfoldment with a soul mission of creating a useful product for healing. And my soul consciousness informed my human unconscious. The result is a system that is visual, frequency-based, mystical, and rational, all together in its application for self-healing. Therefore, the conscious and the unconscious mind, as well as your soul, is at work simultaneously in this healing process. The 9 images are condensed containers of all the potential constructive and destructive personality qualities of each of the distilled archetypes. I call it distilled archetypes because archetypes are vast in its expressions, but there are certain base archetypes that contain all the potential of its variations. And I've distilled it into 9 because of various reasons which I will go into later. But more than that, it contains the divine potential qualities present in your soul spirit, which need to come out as you recognize your personality qualities that hides these divine drop of God potential, which you need to express in the physical world eventually as you become more conscious and healed. Each of these archetypes that I describe link you to portals or keys in your body through which you access the divine energy related to the specific archetype that you are dealing with at a specific time. The portals have a direct relationship with the chakras and meridian system. Please note that the chakras do not have the same numerological sequence as the numerology of the archetypal key and the body portal in the mirrors to your soul system. For instance, the chakra number 5 is the portal 7 in the mirrors to your soul system, which resonates to the 7th archetype. The image related to each key describes the psychological fear and conflict cycle with its human defense mechanism. It also describes the energy portals through which we access the divine archetypal quality into our body, into manifestation. The divine needs to come through the physical vehicle. These portals are energy or frequency access points that support and heal our human fears by connecting with our divine side through introspective intention that leads us to our soul purpose and expression of this particular archetype, instead of the human personality expression of the archetype. Besides the personality descriptions, each key also connects us to a sound frequency and a color. The healing cards help you identify your current personal and spiritual developmental time stage in your overall life journey on earth that is patterned according to the archetypal wheel of evolution. And these healing cards are a tool to help you turn your life challenges into conscious choices by practicing healing principles to access and connect to your divine side, the drop of God in you, instead of continuing the personality struggle in a conflict cycle. The archetypal images in Mirrors to Your Soul are used by internally recognizing and resonating energetically with the colors in the image instead of the form in the images. Colors are powerful archetypes and more appropriate to the psyche's soul spirit experiences. The mind likes to use form and intellectual understanding in its pursuit of healing and confuse us, takes us away, distract us from our soul's messages that we need to receive. And to prevent the mind from hijacking the soul's message and purpose of a specific time phase themed experience with rationalizations through the use of form, which easily pulls the personality into desire and fear, the Mirrors to Your Soul images are related to energetically connect the soul side of the message. The mind struggles to impose its deceptional urges on the soul's message when the images are mainly mystical colors of vague form. After the energetic choice is made by you, by looking at the cards and resonating with one specific image, you can include your mind again by involving it in reading the key notes that correspond with the image to inform you about the purpose of the immediate emotional pattern in your personality and the corresponding challenges which you struggle with. And its connected soul spirit potential that you need to access and bring through into your body vehicle on this earth. Each key supports the transformation of the personality to access the higher self or divine expression or drop of God through you that lies in the personality to materialize with practice and awareness. The work happens from the inside outwards instead of from the outside inwards. What I mean with that is that the soul is engaged first, unconsciously, to bring the inner truth forward, which we recognize by the mind, and then the two work together to heal and connect with the divine side inside. The personality functions are understood and managed by the divine side within, because now you have the consciousness of the specific theme in the current evolutionary process that you are dealing with as a human. I hope this helps you understand the cards. I will give you a specific example of how to use the cards and the booklet with a specific example, a case study, next time. Keep well. Bye-bye.